Okay, you want to talk or me?
Okay, here we go. Good evening. This is January 17th, 2023, the first meeting of Ad Hoc Election Committee for Lake Balboa NC. The time is 7:34, I do believe. And welcome to everybody. This is our first back-to-back meeting with other committees, so welcome to everyone who is here. So let's see who is here this evening. I'm here. Michael Cortez, yes. Jim Stein
Present.
is here. Jasmine Garcia.
Here.
Jasmine is here, good. Alan Nelson is absent.
The board doesn't know it yet, but Alan Nelson has resigned effective the 1st of January.
Ah, okay. All right. So roll call is item 2. We will go on to item 3, and that will be reviewing and approving tonight's January 17th meeting agenda. So I would like to call for a vote to approve the agenda. Michael,
I motion that we approve tonight's agenda.
okay. Do we have a second?
I thought that was the second. Second.
Oh,
Okay, Jim. Great, Jim, thanks. Okay, so approval of the agenda. Michael Cortez.
You're taking a vote now, Michael.
oh, yes.
Yes, okay. Jasmine Garcia.
Yes.
Alan Nelson is technically absent. Linda Schwerin is a yes. Jim Stein.
Yes.
Okay. Motion is approved. 4 yes, 0 no, and 1 absent. Okay. And so let's proceed. Announcements and reports from city officials or visitors. Do we have any reports this evening? I understood that perhaps Daniel Johnson might be available. I don't know if Daniel is here.
He's not here.
All right, in that case, okay. We do not have anyone from the city clerk's office. They were unable to attend tonight. So we will go on from item 4 to item 5, public comment. Linda G. or Michael, do I need to read the information with regard to registered lobbyists? Although it is printed here, shall I read it?
Yeah, just to be sure.
Okay. So under public comment, and I hope this looks okay because my video looks like an X-ray from outer space that's still. So, there we go. All right, it's back. I'm hoping I don't lose you all tonight. Okay. Please advise the committee if you are a registered lobbyist. Comments from the public on non-agenda items, issues, announcements, and complaints within the jurisdiction of Lake Balboa NC. The State of California Brown Act prevents the board from discussing your comments. You can also email your thoughts to the LBNC president. Actually, that is an error. You can email your comments to me, Linda S. at lakebalboanc.org. You'll have 2 minutes per speaker, and I'd like to open it up for public comments. So do we have any public comments on non-agenda items this evening?
I don't see any raised hands as of right now.
Okay. I'm making notes as we go, so forgive me if I'm a little slow. All right, number 6, discussion and possible action to select the election committee chair. And I will bring this topic to the fore here. I was selected to chair this particular committee, and I'm very involved and want to support it 100%. However, I think at this point in time, I'm either going to need a co-chair or perhaps a replacement. And Jim Stein has indicated that he would be willing to do so. So I would like now to ask for Jim Stein's comments before we proceed any further with item number 6.
I will do my best if you care to do it.
What does that mean, Jim?
If you accept me, I will do it. If you don't, I will run like hell. I don't know.
Does that mean that that you are willing to chair the committee?
Hey, it's a volunteer job. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can fire me.
Do you want to?
Okay, well,
Are you
this,
willing to take the whole thing?
Okay.
Okay, what?
If you decide to choose me, I'll do the best I can.
okay, so the discussion is that Jim Stein is actually willing, but this is not a vote that can be taken on the actual committee. It would have to go to the full board.
That's correct. But
So
Jim,
I'll
Jim's
add it
not-
to our special meeting. And
Okay.
Daniel is here if you want to
Oh, good.
recognize him.
Daniel, welcome. I just saw your name. Come on.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
everyone.
Let's go back and say hello to you. And you heard
Surprise.
what we were just discussing with regard to committee chair.
I had another meeting that I was in, so forgive my tardiness, but I am here.
Okay.
I have some election information that still follows suits with agenda item 7. So those announcements weren't missed in the beginning. I know you can't see my beautiful face, but you can hear my amazing voice.
Okay.
First things first, again, I'd like to say Happy New Year's. I'm ready to work with you all again, and until my time runs out in the department, which will probably be never. In regards to your elections, I'm gonna try to say this slowly but smoothly. I see you have election flyers, distribution, I can't even say it right now, distribution and media outreach. In regards to your outreach and awareness and engagement efforts as it comes to the board in general and elections specifically, I want you all to know that you all are the lead of that. I am here to offer you the support. If there are any locations such as tablings, presentations, whatever the canvassing, whatever the case may be, you all are the lead of that charge. Please pencil in those dates, those locations, those times, and get those to me as they come up for you all, so I can try to adjust my calendar the best way I can to offer support. I can't do those things alone. I will do those things alone on my own accord. However, you all are the lead. If you're going out by yourself, you can always call me up, send me an email as long as I have the information, and I will be there if I can to support whoever's going out there to do that wonderful work on behalf of the NC. I'm just stressing that at the beginning because I want you all to know that you're not alone in that process. I just can't take the lead on those things because that's where you all are leading, but I will be there to support. Just don't forget about me out there when it comes to getting that information out. Make sure you plug me in, please. Lastly, I would say, Linda S., thank you. I know I did get that Canva information over to you today.
You did. You did. Thank you so much. And I'll mention that as we go on. I think, Daniel, it's going to be very helpful for our election committee. And if I understand correctly, that same information can be used with our outreach chair, or does that have to be separated?
It can be, it could work synonymously together.
Wonderful. Okay, then we're going to elaborate on that. Wait just a second. Let's see where I have it. Actually, we should discuss that now because this is with regard to the media outreach. Daniel from Empower LA sent over to me today the Canva link and login for elections and outreach for our neighborhood council. And what that means to us is that we have now an additional tool that we can use. It's an application with templates for art and graphics that we can implement and edit for use with our outreach and with our election efforts. So I think this will be something extra that's going to be a benefit for Lake Balboa NC and getting the word out and doing our social media or printed media to our stakeholders. And I haven't even had a chance to really look at the details, Daniel, but this is going to be something exciting. If I understand correctly, is this the first election year, or is it just the first election year that Lake Balboa is involved in where this tool is being provided?
I believe this is the opportunity where the department is trying to lean in to make sure folks have materials and resources to do a wonderful job. I'm not sure because this is my first year. I can't speak on the past year. Only you all would know if that information was available for you all previously.
Yes.
I will say that I learned today from our wonderful Director of Awareness and Engagement, Angie, that the department did send out 2,000 postcards per region in certain zip codes. So what that means is maybe your largest zip code in Lake Balboa, the largest, may have received or will be receiving 2,000 postcards in regards to the general elections for NCs in that area. Okay. Of course, because of budget, we didn't have enough to send more than that. But in terms of equity, we're doing our best to do some outreach on our end as well to offer that support. Okay. I will do my best to double check to see which zip code that is for you all. Not saying that you all shouldn't hit that zip code harder, just to try to let you know that where exactly that location is that has kind of a head start. Okay. Linda G.
We have one zip code, 91406.
91406. Okay, I'll double check with Angie and see if they received some flyers or postcards. Okay.
And we don't know. I mean, it's just how was it sent? Was it like the USPS Every Door Direct?
You have no clue yet. I'll follow up with that as well. It was just some new information that I received, and I wanted to make sure you all received that information tonight, that there's a head start.
Thank you.
And if, I believe too as well, if it hasn't happened yet, could be because your election cycle isn't open yet, but I believe you all should be already, like your candidacy, so that should be going out soon. And then lastly, this kind of falls under number 9, but since I'm here, I just want to briefly touch on it and ask, did you all receive that in-person update email from Tom?
Please elaborate. The
So-
only email that I saw, Daniel, was one from Bonk advising that their meeting had been canceled and the topic was in-person meeting. So perhaps
Okay.
you have more information for us.
That may be the same email because I believe he mentioned Bonk at the end. So what I wanted to say in regards to that is really highlight the last part he said, which was, please send any questions you may have to your NEA, consult your NEA. Of course, I specifically don't have those answers in regards to the in-person meeting. However, I'm asking all my NCs to compile as many questions as you have for the department in regards to the Brown Act, the meeting in person, what the NCs may have to follow. Please don't go light on those questions. We want to make sure that the department can answer those questions thoroughly for you all. As we know, March 1st is around the corner. So again, I don't know the questions you all may want to ask, but I'm asking that your board, I know this is just a committee, that you all kind of work together collaboratively to send a list of questions that the department can answer for you all, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, and thank you very much. I did send an inquiry out today with regard to our meeting locations for when we may be able to meet. I believe I sent a copy to you also. Since all meeting locations for neighborhood councils, both committees and board meetings, correct me if I'm wrong, they are all supposed to be approved by their ADA status. And we had several meeting locations in the past that had been approved. One that is new, we're waiting for approval. And we have been told that this request for follow-up and completion no longer goes to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, but to the city clerk's office. That's been done, and we are waiting for a response on that. So we'll have an update, hopefully, if not at the special board meeting, we'll have one at our regular board meeting in February.
As one follow-up question for you, Linda S. or Linda G, this may be directed to you as well. Did either one of you receive the ADA inspection results from ADA, the ADA or city clerk?
Yes, yes, we did. I did receive the inspection results.
Okay.
And advised at that time that the report was also given to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment.
Okay.
I did
That's
not
the same.
forward that to the city clerk, but it can be done if it's requested.
Okay. And Linda G,
Yeah, and it appeared to be quite a positive report, although it was initial and not detailed on what was provided to me or to Linda G or to Dunn as a detailed inspection. The detailed inspection went to the city, but what we received actually indicated that it was a very good report, and I'm anticipating that should be accepted.
okay. And Linda G, if you don't have it, I'll make sure I forward it over because I should have a copy. But yes, Linda S., you're correct. If you receive that inspection notice, the best thing at this point is, of course, if you have any questions, follow up with the city clerk's office, but also allow them some time to give you the official approval, which of course will be like kind of a lease signing and everything else after that as the next step. So as long as you have that inspection information and is deemed well, the next steps would be just wait to hear back from the city clerk. I do see your email. So that gives me an opportunity to support and following up to see if you can receive that information. So thank you for that. I did check my email. I did see that earlier and I did start it right now. Linda G., do you have anything for me?
Just regarding the in-person meeting, are we going to discuss that now? Because I have an update for you all.
I have one
Actually,
thing.
number 9. So, yeah.
So
Yeah,
do you want me to do it now, seeing that Daniel was speaking about it, or do you want me to wait?
well, I'd like to, Linda G., I'd like to go back just for a moment, because just at the time that Daniel arrived at the meeting, there was a question from the committee with regard to handling of changing or selecting chairs for this committee. Daniel, did you hear that, or should we repeat it?
If it's in regards to electing the committee chair, I do believe I heard that, and I would follow Linda G's process, is bring that to the full board. Normally in committees, I believe the action you can take tonight is to put forth the recommendation saying, hey, this is what the committee recommends. We recommend this chair, and then also allow the board at the full board meeting to vote on it. It's always good to put forth the recommendation through the committee.
Okay, so that just confirms that we'll ask our president to bring that forward to the board at the February 1st meeting then. Okay, then in that case, since I had you back up, we need to go on. Did we discuss the EDDM for direct mail of election materials? I don't.
Well, I guess if we're going to go in order, you're actually on number 7. Daniel just moved ahead with several different things on your agenda.
Yeah, well, I know Daniel covered partially number 7. We had discussion on that. So actually, we should be on number 8, correct? Or do you want to elaborate further with regard to the flyers and the media outreach? I had already touched upon the fact that we now have additional tools that we will need to be working on for our elections, but is there any further discussion that needs to be done with regard to number 7? If not, we will move on to number 8. Okay, hearing nothing then.
Tim Stein has his hand raised.
I'm raising my hand for number 8.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Jim's got his hand raised for number 8.
I sent you some flyers some draft flyers that Kristen had made up so that we can look at those and give our comments. Did you receive them?
No, I have not seen them.
Okay, number
So,
8
wait,
is,
oh,
excuse me, just number 8, we have to identify for people that don't know what you're talking about. It's
Discussion of effective use of 2023 election flyers, distribution, and media outreach.
Okay, that's number 7, Jim. We were on number 8.
No, that's number 8, Linda. We just did number 7. 7 was choosing an election committee chair, which we decided we're moving on to another full council. Number
Okay,
8, discussion of effective use of 2023 election flyers, distribution, and media outreach.
Okay, let me see if we're on the same page here, because my printout of what you're looking at may be different. Okay, I have 5 as public comment, 6, election chair, 7, election flyers distribution media, 8, action EDDM direct mailing, and 9, future of in-person meetings. So do those numbers correspond with the topics that we've just been discussing?
No,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So give me your item number again, Jim, please.
I think
item
Jim-
number 8, discussion of effective use of 2023 election flyers, distribution, and media outreach.
Okay, then that's where I had an issue then, because according to what I have here, the description you just mentioned is item number 7. What does the rest of the committee show for?
That's
that
correct,
description?
Linda, and that's what's publicized on the neighbor council website. So you're correct, Linda. I think you may have Jim, the numbers are different on your agenda. That you
I'm just
have.
gonna lower my hand here. and
No,
I'll-
don't lower your hand. Give us the description and we'll match it with the item.
Your
Okay,
item that you're talking about is technically item number 7, even though you said 8, but.
And
Oh,
Mr. Stein,
I'm sorry, I thought we were finished with number 7. So
Good.
let's continue with number 7, and Jim wants further discussion and has information with regard to election flyers. So Jim, go ahead and elaborate on that.
Are you certain you want to do that, or you want to talk about me being chair again?
No, we've already done that. Go ahead. We're not going to actually be able to change chairs
I
until,
understand that.
yeah, okay.
Mr. Stein, I just forwarded you the agenda that's posted on our ENS system that matches agenda number items as the committee is saying, if you would like to give that a look.
Who can pull that up?
Let me see. I can share my screen. Here it is.
With my issues on the internet, let's not count on it. Okay. Okay, yes, so number 7 is flyers distribution and media outreach. And that's
Okay.
what you were referring to, correct, Jim?
Yeah, it is, but the problem still exists. You didn't receive what I emailed you, which was the draft flyers that Kristen had made up for us to look at for tonight's meeting.
Can you share that, or do you want me
I
to?
don't know how to share things, which is
Oh.
something I certainly want to learn how to do.
All right, well, then in that case, if you have a
Um,
second, I can see if I can share that with you. Speak a little about what you wanted to say with item number 7 with regard to the election flyers. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you.
Did you find them?
I'm going to look right this moment.
Oh. Kristen made up some election materials for us to look at. We could look at it and see if you want to make
I'm
any
checking.
changes.
Yeah, I'm checking right if I can get my computer to respond.
I wish I knew how to share things. Maybe somebody
Well,
can walk me through it.
well, I do know how to share things, but for some reason, I'm still having issues with my computer. And
Jim, if you share it to the committee members, maybe we can see it in our Gmail account real quick.
yeah, can you forward it?
I can
You
try.
know what? I'm afraid that if I go any further, I'm going to be
All right, let
losing
me-
you. So
Here, this is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm going to send this to I'm gonna send this to Michael. Because he knows how to do things that I don't.
I'll do my best.
I'm sorry, I would have had that for you, but considering the last 10 days, I don't want to take any further chance because I may just lose you altogether here.
Okay,
So if you can do
I
that,
just,
Michael.
I just sent it to you, Michael.
Okay, let me
And,
double check.
Kristen made this up.
Okay.
If you like it, we can use it. If you don't like it, I can have her change it.
Did you find it, Michael?
Yes, let me now share the screen. Okay, let's see if it. You see it? Oops. Let me get out of this
Is
one
that your
little
speech?
cancel. Okay, now let me get to it.
And while Michael,
Okay,
oh, he's got it?
okay. Can you see the you can be a candidate?
Yeah, anything you think we should add to it or cut off?
I think
Jim,
I think a copy of this needs to go to the election committee so that we can take a look at this and then review it and then advise if there's any issues or any additions or changes to be made or suggested.
Oh, I was hoping we might be able to do it with this. But I'll be happy to email it to you following the meeting.
I'm asking for the committee's recommendation on this. Is this the only one that you had, Jim, or was there another one?
That was emailed to me, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I don't
that
have a
is,
physical copy of it. I just have a PDF.
oh, okay. Well, the reason that I mention it, I think it would be good if the committee, including perhaps Michael with two hats on, elections and outreach, would like to take a look at that. And then in addition, tomorrow, we should have some additional, I was going to say additional ammunition, but that's not the right word. Something additional that we could use to either add or compare with what Kristen was able to send you so that we could present one or the other at the next meeting.
Okay. I had a question for Daniel, maybe for stuff like the flyers for elections, and you said I know it's all on the neighborhood councils, but do we have to set aside in our own budget for translation of these type of flyers, or does the city provide us with that service or support of how to get a translator to translate these items?
I can follow up with that question. That was a good question. I know that in terms of neighborhood council meetings, that folks do request translation. So I will ask that and probably have that answer for you tomorrow. Just to be transparent, I'll follow up with the director of awareness and engagement, Angie, with that question. And then I'll also follow up with our director of communications, which is Anne Marie, with that question as well.
Great, thank you, Daniel. And the only other item I had for this agenda, item number 7, was the media outreach. if someone can work with me on getting this information, the proper information, so that I can post stuff on social media, or I'm happy to do it. I just need like the right items so I can work.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
we all got that signal, right?
Oh, Daniel was gonna say something, sorry.
I
Or
was
if
gonna
I'm,
say that was a great question, and I was gonna ask if Mr. Stein, if you can try to get that original document, and then I could also offer that support in trying to chop it up so you could post it on Instagram as a slide, right? I think it's a wonderful flyer. The information is there, and what I saw, I was like, okay, we could section this off for a social media post, and so I can offer that support as well.
awesome.
Well, that's good, because I believe, Daniel, if you've had a chance to also review the flyer that Jim received, I would say the same thing. I think that if we can use that on social media and get it started without delay, that would be excellent. As long as the rest of the committee is in agreement with that. So
I'm in agreement as long as these items can be translated, and hopefully hopefully the city can provide us some support.
Please forward me Mr. Stein's flyer so I can include that in my email and make that request to see if we'll provide that service or it'll be on you all. But I want to make sure I have that flyer so they can see what needs to be translated as well. Thank you.
I sent that to everyone tonight, including you, Daniel.
wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Based on our discussion and Jim's proposal that we use this draft flyer, if this is something that is being used for digital meeting digital media, as opposed to something that is going to require an additional expense from the neighborhood council, Daniel, do you see any reason why we can't just go ahead with this before we present a draft flyer at the next board meeting?
I believe that is up to you all's committee, if this is something that you all would like to approve. As I'm looking at it now, I do believe it has the necessary information on it. And then, of course, I'll work with you all with providing more information in the future, such as requesting vote by mail information, anything else in regards to that we could turn into a social media post as well. But as I'm looking at it, and then of course I'll send it over with to, again, Anne-Marie and Angie. If you at least like to wait 24 hours for me to just say, hey, it's good to go, they don't see anything wrong with it, by all means, please do. But just by my observation, again, it looks like an excellent flyer. And I don't see any issues with it being able to be posted, let's say tonight, in regards to you all approving it as Mr. Stein is proposing it tonight.
Hear
Okay.
that, Mr. Stein?
I think Mr. Stein was, whose hand is up first? Jim Stein or Michael?
It's Jim's first.
Jim, that's you. Your hand's up. Go
Been
ahead.
so long, I can't remember. No, what I was gonna ask about is when we talked a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, or maybe it was just a couple of days. I don't know. I lost track of time with COVID, but you said there was a meeting. You said you gave me some dates, and you said that people who might be interested in being a candidate could go online and watch that and see what exactly being a neighborhood council member might entail. You gave me some dates for that. Do you remember that, Linda?
Yes.
Yeah, you
And-
said you were going to send me some information. I never received it.
Okay, I had listed in on the agenda tonight that with regard to the candidate filing, you'll find that it's actually after number 10, but you'll see where it says
Oh,
important.
I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay. The candidate information session is Saturday, February the 18th, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And that should provide a lot of information for folks that might be interested in running for a seat on the board. That information and also the information with regard to the election workshop, which is regional in the Southwest Valley. Those are available, and you will find those on the city clerk's website. And I know we didn't get to number 10. I think we're going to wait until we get past number 10, and then we can go on with that. Is that right with you all?
Yeah, I just have a quick item for number 7, just a quick, I know, Linda, we just in the outreach committee talked about supporting, the committee members supported the idea of the $200 that has to go to the full board for social media ads and stuff. I think this for neighbor council meetings, events or stuff, and I think elections should be added to it, because I think like flyers like this, even putting just a little bit of neighbor council funding to push these flyers out on our social media pages can go a long way. So I don't know if this committee agrees with that idea, just so we can add that in clarity in the.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
I was,
yeah,
I think that
something.
that should actually go on the flyer that we were looking at, if there's room for it. Just
Okay.
something.
All right, just want to bring it up. That was it. That was my thing. Thank you. Good point.
Okay. With regard to the social media, and I'm sorry, I was not there on your last item for the outreach meeting. I was trying to log in for our current meeting. Did the outreach committee recommend approval for the $200 to the neighborhood council?
We support the idea, and it has to go to the neighbor council board meeting for approval.
Oh, okay. So you did, okay. And with regard also to the media support, there are additional items that are available to be used by our neighborhood council in the new Canva tool pack that I'll be distributing to you and Jim. That will have customized things in it that are editable that our neighborhood council can use particularly for social media, in addition to whatever we want to send out in, to the wide world in the printed view. So I put a note to make sure that you get that also.
That'd be good if you also send it to Jasmine, to Linda. I know I'm like older, so if you have any ideas for social media stuff, please let us know.
I am making a note as we speak because I know I'm talking to savvy people here. Okay. All right. So we've elaborated on number 7, and is there anything more on number 7? Okay, then let's continue on to number 8. Discussion and possible action using EDDM, which is post office every door direct mail for mailing of election materials. And I'm interested to see who may have information and updates. I thought that perhaps we did. However, Jim, You mentioned that, and I thought perhaps it might be Danica who had some more details, unless that's
And
you.
yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to print something. I'm sorry if, I don't know exactly how it works, but I guess maybe you couldn't see me, which is probably a good thing.
I
But,
see you now.
I
We see
so
you
I was
now.
trying to print something. Let me see. Danica said she was gonna try and attend for the election committee meeting, but I guess she was unable to. We've in the last several years that I've been active with outreach and what have you, we have not had a lot of luck with what's the name of that other company the that that we're using
Are you talking about the physical?
for delivering stuff.
At one time, for many years, we used
Walking Man.
Walking Man.
Walking Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were not having a
Came
lot
out
of luck with
expensive.
Walking Man. One thing we found out is Walking Man, they do not deliver to apartments at all. And a lot, and well, so that leaves out about, I don't know, half the people in Lake Balboa. And a lot of stuff, people were not receiving it at all. So that's why whenever, like, we had that one with the land use one, a couple of land use things where we had town hall meetings or whatever. We started using EDDM, and Danica found helped us, and we were able to find that it was that it was more effective for less money. And so I don't know, I propose we try and use EDDM, but I just don't know how far we're going to, we're not, obviously we're not going to be able to reach 46,000 people or 46,000 homes. But I propose that we try and use EDDM, and we try and figure out where we're going to target with that. And I'm really sorry that Danica wasn't here, because she's put a lot of mapping into that.
Based on what Jim just said, I think it would be more to our benefit to make sure that we have some more specific information on the costs of every door direct. And although it was not specifically the neighborhood council who incurred the previous expense, Danica has done it, and she's familiar with how it works. So it would be nice for her to provide us some additional information so that we'd have an idea as far as pricing, and how far the money will go to reaching Lake Balboa stakeholders. So I think that we need more information. We do need something, I believe, aside from Every Door Direct, although I used to love getting my newsletter in person, but we're in 2023 now. So does anyone else have any ideas or suggestions as far as, or comments proceeding with the direct mail idea? My thought is to get more information and some pricing before we proceed.
My
And
hand is raised, Linda.
I just see Linda. Who's first, Linda or Daniel?
Linda.
Linda, you're first.
Okay, so Every Door Direct is about $5,000, and it goes by area, post office area. You have to prepare it and put it in packets for them, and then the post delivery people will deliver it to that zone. You're not guaranteed that it's going to go out on a specific date, but it is an effective way. So it has to be prepackaged. and the pricing is by zone. So you can go onto their website and click the various zones. You cannot do more than, I forget, $5,000 worth at one time. So you have to divvy it up, but it's really quite good. I
Okay,
would
thank you.
recommend it.
Thank you, Linda. Daniel?
I just wanted to share that I'm like Mr. Stein proposed a great observation. I know one way that hopefully can work around is partnering with the school and seeing if they'll be open to disseminating that information to the middle schoolers, high schoolers, or whatever the case may be, so that those students could take that information home. And then, of course, that is also in regards to if you have a lot of youth in those apartment complexes, right? That means that those students will be able to take that information home and provide those materials to their parents.
Thank you, Daniel. Michael, before I mention anything, go ahead. You have your hand up?
Yeah, this question is for Daniel, maybe. You know, I know every neighborhood is different, but since some of the neighborhood councils have already started their election cycles, have you seen certain election efforts work that have worked for some of these neighborhood councils?
So I know Walking Man was a great tool, but also I heard that it may not be the best fit for Lake Balboa because of they don't necessarily outreach to those apartment complexes. So one avenue that you can utilize to get that information will be to attend those regional meetings. Maybe you have a representative, maybe you all go, because those are the opportunities where other NCs are actually providing that information to your question, the answer to your question of what works. So those regional meetings are actually opportunities for you all to workshop together. Like, hey, what are you all doing that is successful? And you all being able to adopt that. Again, I think that concern is very great to say, hey, if you all are using Walking Man, where your success is at, because this isn't where we're having it. That is new information for me as well. And so I know there's a handful or a couple of NCs I know that I oversee that is using that. So I want to share that information again with the Director of Awareness Engagement, Angie, to say, hey, this is a concern that Lake Balboa has. Are any other NCs having that issue as well? And then again, see what that workaround could be. And again, I know for sure, my nonprofit experience is utilizing those schools to print those flyers or providing them those flyers to hand out to those students. If you all need support in making that connection, I feel like as long as you take the lead on that, the department can follow up to see if we could make that partnership work.
I don't see any hands up, but when we did our Movies in the Park event earlier, was that last year? That was last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, time flies, eh? We did utilize printing flyers, and they were distributed through some of the schools. So that may be an excellent alternative that we need to be considering. Is there something else with regard to number 8?
I don't know if it really is in regard to number 8, but it certainly should be said that we need to take advantage of all the social media that we can.
I agree. Yeah, and that's the 7 and then 8. So
Okay.
we're going to be working on that.
In regards to that, so marketing and promotion of social media has coming up. As long as that is budgeted for you all's elections, you should be good to go. Of course, any like city logos or anything like that may present a denial, like from the city clerk, right? You have to ask to use the city clerk's logo or the city's logo. However, you have your own NC's logo that you're using, which may not pose an issue. So if social media is something that you all are looking forward to, I can look and see if we have any guidance in terms of how to utilize social media to do a proper ad campaign, but that is truly at the discretion of you all's board as well. And of course, I keep saying it, if you have any questions in regards to that, I personally, well, professionally will pose those questions to Anne Marie, who's the our director of communication, because she's the best fit at understanding how to navigate that process as well. So if that's an avenue, I'm taking a note for you all to say, hey, social media sounds like there might be a great opportunity for you all. So I'll make sure I can provide some feedback for you all soon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Please let us know.
Yeah, and Daniel, did you just mention, or if I understand you correctly, that we need to be concerned with social media, including any logos or insignias besides Lake Balboa, in case we need permission? Or did
Yes.
I misunderstand?
No, that was correct. Any city entity logos that you want to use, just know that poses might create a roadblock because we have to ask for approval to use that. But I don't see solely using Lake Balboa's logo as an issue, because you all are running the campaign, you all are putting this up for discussion and action, so that can move forward, of course, with no issue.
All right, so if I understand correctly, if we want to create a flyer or do something on social media using the LBNC logo, is perfectly fine. But if we
Yes.
want to include the City of LA's logo, because we are part of the City of Los Angeles, do I understand correctly that we need to get permission first, or?
Yes. City logo will require approval from the city clerk, yes.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
No problem.
Can I just ask for additional clarification? So Daniel, if we are sharing something that's on social media by the city of LA that talks about neighbor council filing, all that stuff that has a city logo, we can't share it until it gets approved, even though it's being shared on their own social media pages?
You can share that. What I
Okay.
was indicating was specifically solely to you running an ad campaign for that.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? Okay. All right. Well, we are down to the future of in-person meetings, and I know that we briefly touched on that a little bit earlier, and Daniel had said that he was aware that we had submitted information and that we should allow the clerk some time to respond. My comment, and I'm going to look for the comments of others in this committee, is that when we first started with trying to confirm in-person meeting locations, that was done towards the end of 2021. And I see there's a hand raised down here. We'll catch it in just a second. Since that time, a lot of research has gone on, and of course, no one expected that we would be doing virtual meetings for this long, and here we are. But that's hopefully going to change soon. And in any case, we are still waiting at LBNC for confirmation that the locations that we used in the past have been reconfirmed and that they will be allowed to use them as soon as we start in person. And hopefully that's going to be very soon. That was partly what we touched on earlier. So at this point, Bonk canceled their meeting. The Board of Neighborhood Commissioners canceled their meeting this month, which was going to specifically discuss in-person meetings, which of course would also have effect on our elections, and that's been delayed. Based on that, unless Linda G. or someone else has additional information, at this point, I don't know if we have any further discussion regarding in-person meetings because we don't know when that's going to happen.
Well, I have information on in-person meetings. Are you referring to outreach, or are you like the committee meetings, or specifically what did you have in mind to discuss?
Well, I'm discussing board meetings and committee meetings because we have had no confirmation on any location where we might be able to use in-person venue spots for either committees or the board. Nothing up to this point. So if you have
Okay.
information, please share.
Yeah, I have a lot of information. I actually had a meeting with the Board of Commissioners, Len Schaefer, and Assembly Member Jesse Gabriel. And we're talking about the continuation of Zoom meetings for neighborhood council meetings and committee meetings. That's in the works. Senator Henry Stern is also working on something with another senator. There are 2 council files that LA City Council brought forward earlier, I think it was last week, where they would like to get a waiver for neighborhood councils that we can meet via Zoom indefinitely. And the same thing with some other city council entities. So that is in the works. But for specific in-person meetings, there is, I think it's AB 2441, which says if you have an in-person meeting, we have to consider that this is an entity with the city of Los Angeles. And what that means is if we were going to have a meeting at Lulu's restaurant, we are actually sitting in the city entity for Los Angeles. It's not Lulu's restaurant anymore. It's the neighborhood council location where we're meeting. And that means we have to follow the city protocols for COVID. And that means if you're not vaccinated, you can't be attending the meeting, period. End of story. So that's all in the works and it's all a mess. And the end of the COVID emergency is effective February 28th. So the 1st of March is when you can have in-person meetings. And that is the first day of our Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council meeting. So we are up in the air. If we do, like I say, if we do go in person on the 1st of March, there is no Zoom. There will be no Zoom. People will have to come into the meeting if it's at Galt Street School, as we did in the past. And if anyone has any questions, they have to be there in person.
Okay, thank you, Linda. And of course, at this point, we don't know that Galt has been reaffirmed as an acceptable location, but if it has, there are changes in what Lake Balboa needs to do to verify that particular location for our meetings. We used to have to do that in writing. I understand it's now electronic, and the details are to follow, and I'll have more information, or Jim will have more information on that for you very soon. Actually, let's hope it's February, right? And Michael I have 2 folks that have their hands up here before you did, and let me see who that is. Wait a minute.
It's a Lionel Mares or
Why can't I find him? Interesting. Here we go.
I think Linda could probably someone can help get him.
Hi, Lionel. Let me,
How
are you
come
able?
I can't see him? Oh, there you are.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for coming in late to the meeting. Thank you all. I was at a LAPD commission meeting this evening. So I just want to remind everybody that on February 26th, Ciclavia will be returning to the Valley Sunday, February 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be on Sherman Way, extending from Canoga Park through Winnetka and to Reseda. 5 miles, approximately 5 miles on Sherman Way. So it's on February 26th on a Sunday. If you could share it with your neighbors on your social media newsletters, because I think it's going to be an exciting event for whole Valley to attend. Thank you. Let's see those happy faces.
Lionel, can you please identify who you represent, or are you representing yourself?
Oh, I'm representing myself. I'm just sharing information because I want to make sure
Okay.
that everybody in the Valley gets this information. I just want to make sure that there's a higher turnout because I know there are many bicyclists, people who want to walk their dogs, or runners, who skateboarders, or want to take their scooters. They want to have fun without motorists, who want to enjoy the streets without the fear of it being run over. So that's the whole point of Ciclavia. I'm just sharing information as a private individual, as a citizen. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. We're
Yes,
still
thank
on number 8, however, or
much.
number
Yes.
9.
Yeah, we're on number 9. Do we have Michael?
Yeah, I just had to add about future election meetings. I know it's still up in the air about in-person or Zoom. I would add, one of the things that, and I talk about just because of my job at Metro, we've done a lot of in-person meetings, but we've offered a virtual meeting every so often. So as we talk about elections, if there is that opportunity, if we do have special information that maybe we do a virtual special meeting, if we do go all in person, just to try to capture some folks that could maybe only attend virtually. So just want to throw that out there as maybe could be a further discussion item down the road, is to keep that out there.
The difficulty is the Brown Act doesn't allow it.
But
That's the difficulty. The
Yeah.
Brown Act has such restrictions on teleconferencing that it doesn't work for the neighborhood councils. And Department of Neighborhood Empowerment is working on a hybrid where we can do both. However, for that to happen, it's going to cost a lot of money. In addition to that, by the time they get around to doing all of that, it'll be March 1 of 2024.
gotcha. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah,
That helps.
sorry. I'm sorry I'm bringing the bad news, but that's the way it is.
Well, Daniel, I want you to hear my own comments. Thank you. That was it.
Okay. Do we have anything else with regard to number 9? If not, let's go on to number 10. Okay. Number 10, participation in community events. And it does appear that we already have one idea, which is going to be the potential of the Valley Relics Lake Balboa history. We may also have the option of participating with other neighborhood councils in community events. Before we go on to any elaboration on important dates, is there anyone here who has questions or comments with regard to item number 10?
I need to raise my hand. Raising,
You're recognized, Jim.
I'm just trying to follow the rules.
Okay.
Is it okay in going to the candidate, the CD6 candidate forum? Is it okay for the election committee or someone from the election committee to be there to hand out information? Or do you think it's appropriate? I mean, we're talking pretty far away from Lake Balboa.
We actually discussed that at the outreach meeting, and yes, there will be a booth. Yes, there will be water. Yes, there will be cookies.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm getting old.
No, you're not. Do you have any comment with regard to that, Daniel Johnson, or you're in agreement with what was discussed at the outreach meeting, which would be that a positive?
Daniel wasn't at the outreach meeting.
Oh, all right. Daniel, it was discussed at the outreach meeting, and either Jim or Michael can elaborate on that briefly to see if you have any particular comments about handling that.
No, we just, Linda gave us an overview of the CD6 candidates forum. And I know we had already supported it at the December meeting. And so the committee was all in agreement in supporting having a booth at the event and having flyers about just neighbor council, the LB&C items, but then also about elections, just having flyers on the table as well too about it. So
Election
you're at-
outreach.
yeah, I think you're asking Daniels if there's any issues, but
Yeah, Daniel, is there any issue then with LB&C or LB&C election outreach at a CD6 candidate forum?
No, I already checked with legal.
There, there goes your answer. There goes the answer
Okay.
right there. I will say, please again, make sure I have the information so I can show up and support with that elections outreach. The previous mentioned event, this event, and also Ciclavia, if you all plan on attending and passing out some outreach information there or some elections outreach, please just make sure I have that information so that I can support.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay. I don't see any hands up, unless your hand up, Daniel?
No,
No.
my hand is actually down.
Okay, well, that was me
Oh,
moving my hand
no,
around.
no.
Okay. All right, well, in that case, if you notice on your agenda after item number 10, we have three bullet items here, and they all relate to Lake Balboa NC election information. The first on your list, you'll see that highlighted, Region 3 Election Workshop, Southwest Valley, and that takes place on January 31st from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It will be a Zoom online virtual workshop, and it will be including other neighborhood councils who are in Region 3. And I think it would be an exceptional benefit for anyone on the election committee or on the outreach committee to attend this particular workshop, because it's something where we can work with other neighborhood councils and expand on what we're doing now here in Lake Balboa. The information on that you will find is available. Okay, you will find that on the city clerk's website, which would be clerk.lacity.org/clerk/NC elections. And you will find it, once you reach the website, you will find a section that has resources. Click on that tab and it will open a new window for you, and you will see where you can register and get an RSVP. Also, the other items that were listed, the one in addition to that, which is the candidate filing, the second bullet, which is February the 18th, and that is information on candidate filing that is available in the in the election handbook for 2023. You will find that also on the city clerk's website. and you can click on that as well. The candidate information session is, the next one is Saturday, February the 18th. And that's available for anyone who wants information about candidates or might be interested in running for a seat on the board. Also to give us more information about how that particular system works. So all of these things you will find on the city clerk's website. The workshop I would highly recommend. The other items, well, of course, the candidacy filing in case you're thinking about running, right? Smile, Jasmine. Okay. If anyone has any issue accessing the items that are listed here, please send me an email. My email is on the agenda. And if we don't have anything further, I don't see any hands up.
Yep.
Yep, Linda's hand's up. Linda, your hand is in the tan background. I didn't see it. Sorry.
That's all right. Well, I just want to remind everyone that number one, there are business reps that we need representing businesses. We have organizational seats, so we need to find folks as organizations. We need youth representation because Jasmine's now graduated from being a youth, and that it's not just residential. So we do have to keep that in mind.
There's a seat open for you, Jasmine. Okay, folks. Thank you, Linda. I think that's all for us, folks, for this evening. We went through a lot of things. We have some things to follow up and things to proceed so we can get cooking here with the election. It is now, I show 8:50 p.m., if that is correct. And there not being any further discussion or information for tonight, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Thank you very much. I was just going to ask to stop